Hey, welcome to the smoking table. I'm your host, Dre,
And I'm Jay.
and here we go. So, marijuana is medically legal in 20 different states right now, and recreationally legal in 4 states. The government is working on getting more states to become along with at least the medical and stuff, and there's several states working on it right now. Jay, what is the government doing and the steps they're taking into making this happen?
Well, basically, what the government's doing is they have something going on in circulation right now called the CARES Act. Now, the way that they're trying to work their angle with this is for being able to provide medical marijuana for veterans. I mean, in the states where medical marijuana is already legal, it wouldn't really be that big of a deal, except for them having to go outside the VA hospital. But there are a few different things that they are trying to work into this deal, even though it's for the veterans, for the people themselves. So basically, what the CARES Act does is that what they want to do is to allow state programs that already have marijuana to not have to worry about interference from the government, so that shops aren't getting raided, people's grow houses aren't getting burned down, all the typical stuff that the federal government has under Barack Obama stopped being funded for, but somehow still seems to be happening.
Now, is this just like, will they still only be able to affect registered people, or can they still bust like random people growing weed in their house?
In states where you're allowed to grow, you'll be okay. In states where you're not allowed to, that still have a medical marijuana system or recreational marijuana system, they can still go after you, but the feds aren't funding it anymore.
Okay.
So I mean, it's one of those things where you get caught in the loop of state and federal, and I mean, honestly, if you don't do anything to get busted, you should be okay. Now, some of the other things that are in the CARES Act are trying to move marijuana out of Schedule 1 listing. They're trying to move it to a Schedule 2, hopefully a Schedule 3, but at least that would remove some of the loopholes in doing marijuana research that right now really isn't happening. They also want to remove CBD off the list completely, separately from marijuana. And they also want to end the NITA monopoly that's been going on and blocking the research. And one of the most major things that they're trying to do and squeeze in here at the last minute is allowing banks to actually work with the marijuana community, because it's a large cash business, and that in itself creates more of a safety hazard than the marijuana.
Now, is there any states that have been attempting to push for the legalization of marijuana but have come up short in any ways?
Well, the biggest state in that category definitely has to be Florida. Florida, by 2% margin, missed having medical marijuana on the 2014 ballot. They are pushing harder for it on 2016, and they are full speed ahead already, because not only do they have Mr. For the People, John Morgan, opening his wallets and helping out his campaign with United for Care to improve the medical marijuana legislation that they imposed on 2014 that came up only 2% short. But you also have the Florida Organization for Reform out of Orlando, Florida as well, doing something a little different. They're actually pushing for recreational marijuana with a 10% tax to raise the salaries of Florida's teachers. And I mean, just on that alone, they should have the vote of most of the marijuana community, because if anybody knows anything about Florida, the teachers,
They suck. they
they don't get paid. They just, I mean,
they don't care because there's no money in making it. They're not getting paid for what they're doing, and they stop caring. They don't care.
and you can't blame them for that, because Florida has shown time and time again that they don't care about the teachers.
Exactly. All right. So, we're going to move on now, since it is a show about smoking. we're going to talk more about things that smokers enjoy or stoners enjoy, bringing the news to a way that you can understand for all of our smoking buddies out there. All right, so we're going to talk about technology right now. There are light bulbs being worked on right now that include Wi-Fi.
Yes, Li-Fi, the technology of technology. So before we get into talking about Li-Fi, here's a quick little video to kind of explain what it does.
Imagine where we have LEDs in streetlights, in cars, in offices, in homes. Now imagine that these LEDs connect to the internet. Wi-Fi uses light, and in particular LED light, to transmit data wirelessly. We can use laptops, we can use our smartphones to access the internet using ordinary off-the-shelf LED light bulbs. That will enable us a completely new connected world.
The Live Flame system from Pure Li-Fi enables the world's first fully networked Li-Fi solution. It enables people connected to one set of lights to move the next set while maintaining networking session. All of the lights are hooked up to access points. These access points communicate over the backbone network. In the future, we will be going from mobile networks to Wi-Fi to Li-Fi.
Light doesn't penetrate through walls. Therefore, somebody outside a room will not be able to intercept with an ongoing wireless transmission. With light, we would be able to transmit data more securely. Our ambition is a world where light becomes data.
This is something that I'm actually, as a tech person, pretty excited about. And this is, in my mind, what the word amazing will be judged by for the rest of my life.
I think it's awesome because I barely understand it. It's amazing.
So basically what Li-Fi is actually a way to transfer information as you do with Wi-Fi, but through LED lighting. Through the spectrum of the light, sending and receiving information. And wait, there's more. It is faster than Wi-Fi. It's faster than fiber optics. It puts fiber optics to shame. At its full capacity, it can be bidirectionally, meaning your upload and download speeds being the exact same of 224 gigabits per second.
That's a lot for people who don't understand what that means. That is a lot. That is like 18 1.5 gigabyte, 18 HD movies, full HD movies being downloaded in a single second.
I mean, just to give you even more perspective on it, basically anybody who has, whatever cable provider that you have right now, whoever supplies your internet, their maximum at this point right now is 300 megabits per second. 300 megabits per second. That is, I can't even describe it. It's so much faster that it's the speed of light, basically. And the funny thing about it, the most interesting thing that I found about it is that the information travels through the spectrum of light, which means it can't pass through walls. It can't pass through other barriers. So basically, your network can't be tapped into by somebody in your house, let alone somebody on your street. I mean, if Johnny is in the next room, he can't pick up on what you're doing, all through light bulbs.
It's amazing. Light bulbs that produce Wi-Fi for your house. So now moving into sports, since this is the smoking table, recently football player for the New York Jets, Brandon Marshall, wrote on Twitter that he was going to Jamaica to visit his family for his sister's wedding. Now, Jay, you're from Jamaica. They now have legalized marijuana. Do you really think that there's that much weed in Jamaica floating around that someone could get high secondhand without smoking it and pop up for a drug test?
Let's just say that we've heard this excuse before. Brandon Marshall, you are not fooling anybody. As a matter of fact, not only as a Jamaican, but the Jamaican people have responded on Twitter in full force. And this is what they've had to say.
Judge Dog at Dog Judge, he reversed it, that's awesome, wrote on Twitter at Brandon Marshall at NFL, "You, sir, are a charlatan and a damn liar. You smoked and looking a easy way out." Pause?
POS.
POS.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Oh my god. Okay, so I did not know what pause meant. I just gotta say that. Piece of shit. That's amazing.
Awesome. We are learning stuff here today.
This is awesome.
But that's not even the best part of that tweet. Because somehow this person went all the way back to the 1600s to pull out the word charlatan. Just for you, Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall, there you go. You are a charlatan. A word that hasn't been used in hundreds of years. Very good job.
So, NFL, because, all of these were not only because Brandon Marshall put at Brandon Marshall and at NFL in his tweet, all of these responses went to at Brandon Marshall and at NFL. All of these responses went straight to the NFL's Twitter.
Which made it even better. It was awesome. IG Nina Razi PR said at Marlon Music, at Brandon Marshall, at NFL, "You don't need help. You need to leave. Especially if you aren't being held hostage."
And then we have Josie McCalla at Jovi_17. At Brandon Marshall at NFL. "That's a lie. Marijuana is illegal in Jamaica, and majority of Jamaicans don't smoke."
However, since he posted his original tweet, he has come out and apologized to the Jamaican community.
D. Allen, I agree that my comments about Jamaica was overrated, but I apologize if I offended you or any other body from Jamaica. My father, stepfather, is from Jamaica, and I love you guys. Trilani.
All right. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like that was slightly a half-ass apology. That was only because it blew up the way.
That was half of a half-ass apology. And, just because you're shouting out a city in Jamaica, by the way, shout out to Trelawney, shout out to Portmore, shout out everybody. Shout out Portland, man. Shout out the people who don't get that much attention. Shout out Port Antonio. Shout out Buff Bay. Anyways, I digress. Just because you shout out a city doesn't get you off the hook. You try to blame a whole country for you wanting to light up and the possibility of you failing your drug test. Like, that's worse than saying, you could have blamed anybody. You could have blamed your sister. You could have blamed the person who you sat on the bus with. You blamed the whole country.
The entire country of Jamaica.
So, Brandon Marshall, good luck on that drug test.
Yes, have fun with that. In other sports, not weed related, but amazing, the Cardinals on Monday brought in Jen Welter, a female, as a training camp preseason intern coaching inside linebackers. Now, it's amazing that they brought a female in to coach, especially with the NFL already having a female referee being in it this year, and now a female coach coming in. But what's more amazing is this woman may be more qualified than most coaches we have in the NFL right now. She played college rugby, transitioned to professional football, where she played running back and special teams for the Texas Revolution, which is an indoor football men's league. Meaning she was with the whole team of men, and she played as the running back, and she beasted it. And then she became the coach of that team, one of the coaches on that team. Now, that's amazing. So I think she's fully qualified to be in the NFL as a coach in any way which possible.
And I will be the first to go ahead and issue Jen Welter an apology, because when I first read this story, I did think it was kind of a PR stunt by the Shield. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't think it just because, I mean, even with the season about to start in another month and a half, we still got Deflategate on the TVs right now. So, I mean, the image of the league in the offseason took a real bad beating.
Yeah, it did.
But after looking at her resume and what she's done, I agree with you. I mean, right now, if she's the coach, that's going to be the steal of the year right there.
Exactly. She's amazing. Everything she's done, she's there. She pushed hard to get where she's at, and I congratulate her completely.
Yes, congratulations.
Now, on to less happy news or whatever. The Seahawks. The team is amazing. They're incredible, but they're self-destructing themselves right now. They are not making they are not having a good offseason with big-headed players who are talented. Yes, they are, but not trying to construct together as a team. All of them demanding more money and higher contracts than anyone else in the league because of who they are and how they play. Do you blame them or?
I mean, the problem with the Seahawks players is that they played into a system. I mean, there was no one man that was bigger than the Legion of Boom. There was no person on the offense that, couldn't play their role without the other. I mean, Marshawn Lynch was beast mode all year long. And although nobody wants to go back to the Super Bowl, come on.
I don't want to go there again.
Come on.
I hated that day.
I mean, no person there is bigger than the unit. And if you're starting to break up the unit, I mean, it's one of those things where you're going to go to another place because your head got too big and you'll be replaced, but you're not going to have the same success where you go.
Because you're going to... Russell Wilson, I believe, he's right now trying to arguably say that he's the best quarterback in the NFL, which I'm not going to... I don't agree with whatsoever. And it's not just being a Packers fan. Aaron Rodgers is an amazing quarterback. He probably is the best quarterback. I am a Packers fan. Go Aaron Rodgers. But... Big Ben is good too. You got Peyton Manning. Even Eli Manning, I feel, is like good. I mean, in the same level as Russell Wilson is because you got a team structure that they work around. So I don't believe Russell Wilson. He got offered a $21 million a year contract and didn't say yes to it right away. That would have made him the third highest paid quarterback in the NFL, which I don't know if he thinks he deserves more money than Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, but he needs to be a leader and decide to take a smaller pay so he can have that winning team that he has still, so he can keep winning.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, and I guess this is going to be the first time that we actually disagree tonight because it's the NFL. It's not for long. And I mean, if I took my team to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, I'm plopping my resume down on the desk. Give me my money. Big Ben hasn't done that. Tom Brady hasn't done it lately. If I'm the man in the moment, you got to go for it, man. Because, I mean, when you're not the man and that check starts to look lighter and they add and you go in there with that same resume and they're like, well, yeah, that was 7 years ago. What have you done for us lately? It's all bad at that point, man. So, I mean, if you can get it now, then get it now. I mean, the Legion of Boom is a unit.
They're also trying to tie up with Bobby Wagner and Michael Bennett, who aren't specifically part of the Legion of Boom because they're linebackers and they come in, but Michael Bennett is a big name in the team. You want to keep him. And, I mean, Bobby Wagner
too. I mean, when you look down that list of those four players, Russell Wilson, I mean, in my order, it's Russell Wilson, Bobby Wagner, Michael Bennett, Cam Chancellor. So, Cam Chancellor, if you're choosing a real bad time to hold out right now.
Exactly, because I'd be like, all right, no, you're not getting more money. Do whatever you want to do. We still got you for 3 years. Suck it up and play. And then if you want to leave, leave still. It doesn't matter because, like you said, there's so many different people you could put into that slot and be happy and have them adapt. I mean, you got Richard Sherman, who anyone playing with Richard Sherman, I mean... Sherman. Yes.
I'm a 49ers fan, but I got respect for Sherman, man.
You gotta have respect for the man. He is really good at what he does. All right, we're getting really carried away on this one. We're gonna have to keep on moving on. So we're going to get to segment 4, which is entertainment. Now, this is awesome because I love Tom Cruise in every single way.
Oh, Tom Cruise.
Not just his movies, but him as a human being has been an inspiration to me in my life.
I will say, since he's left Katie Holmes, since they broke up, like, Tom Cruise is official, like, remake old school badass Tom Cruise again.
He's the coolest motherfucker in the world. I'm gonna say that right now. I gotta say it. He does whatever the hell he wants. He's like, I'm doing this, and no one stops him. No one ever says, hey, Tom, don't do that. He's like, no, there's no point in even talking to Tom. You just say, yes, Tom, I'll do this, Tom. Gotcha, Tom. What's up, Tom? But to prove how amazing Tom Cruise is, I just found this out recently. The Church of Scientology, which Tom Cruise has been a part of for 25 years now, which... On a side note, he's actually leaving for his daughter's sake because they won't let his daughter see him and stuff like that, so on. But back to the other thing. For his 25th anniversary, the Church of Scientology has created a nude shroud. A statue of Tom Cruise naked, holding some kind of shiny crystal star thing, and it is beautiful. It is amazing. It is a statue that, like...
Hit up the interwebs and check it out.
Yes, you gotta check it out. I'm gonna have it posted on the blog. You gotta check it out on the Tumblr. By the way, the Tumblr, smokingtable.tumblr.com. Yeah, it's linked up. I'll show you. All right, so I won't show you personally unless you want me to, I guess.
The powers of radio.
Yes. Okay, so, and also in Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Tom Cruise flew on a fucking plane. Not in the plane, not under the plane. He was on the side of the plane, attached to the plane. It went up really high, 40,000 feet into the air, and it was going 145 miles an hour while he was on a plane.
Now, not to downplay this badassery at all, because I'm not getting out on the side of a plane. That's never going to happen. It don't even try to imagine it. But... I know that planes go a lot faster than 140 something miles an hour. So let's see you pick up the speed there, Tom Cruise.
I can't believe you're downgrading a man on a plane, but that is your right, and that's all
Top
you
Gun.
can do.
Top Gun. Every doing Top Gun.
Top Gun.
You're flying outside the plane on Top Gun, Tom Cruise.
You have to. You have to jump outside that plane and fly at 1,000 miles per hour, Tom Cruise.
F-14 on the outside.
That is what we demand of you.
And we know you do your own stunts, so don't try to pull any fast stuff.
Do it. No CGI shit. Alright, so we're getting to the end of the show now, and what we want to do is we have a segment we like to call Casting Call. Now, I know you guys all know, you get high, you're chilling or whatever, you see something, and you're like, I wonder who that guy would be in a movie. So you and your buddies start talking, and you're like, hey, that guy could be that guy. Oh my god, that guy could be that guy. So what we're doing is we're having a little competition where we are going to pick a show or movie, comic book, something. We're going to cast it. We're each going to pick one, and you guys are going to vote and see who has the best comparison and who you guys think would be it. So tonight we're doing Grand Theft Auto 5 because
San Andreas was a disappointment.
It was horrible movie. It wasn't what we thought it was.
Because I thought when I first saw it in the theater, I saw the trailer for it when I went to go see Lucy. And I got so excited about it. I was like, San Andreas has a movie. Like, this is going to be freaking amazing. And The Rock's in it. It's going to be freaking amazing, right? Had nothing to do with the video game.
I thought it was the video game.
Absolutely nothing.
It wasn't the game. So, we decided that Grand Theft Auto 5 needed to be casted, and we're going to cast it. And, hopefully it'll be a movie one day, because I would watch that movie. So, we decided to cast the first 3 main characters, so Michael is the first character, and for my pick, I decided Liam Neeson. Like, 5 years ago, Liam Neeson.
And we actually had a funny, conversation about this, because he's perfect for the job in the sense that Michael's son gets kidnapped in the game.
So it's like his life all over again.
Exactly. You don't take Liam Neeson's kids.
It
never works out well.
It always ends bad when you take Liam Neeson's children.
So my pick, though, for Michael, and I went more off looks, I guess, than attitude, but I chose Stephen Baldwin. Alex is gonna cost too much money, first of all.
He is. He's too
And
expensive.
Billy hasn't really got like the Baldwin weight yet. So like Steven is perfectly in the middle, and I think that if you actually look at like Stephen Baldwin and look at Michael, let him grow his stubble out a little bit. He can pull off Michael.
He's a really good comparison. I agree with that. We're gonna see what it looks like. We're gonna have the photos up on the blog, so that way you guys can see and compare and everything, and see what you guys think, and let us know about that too. But Stephen Baldwin could do it if he didn't do duck face with every photo he had. But alright, so now we're gonna go on to Franklin, who I originally have to say that I thought of Michael B. Jordan in a slight racist way because I can't think of any other dark-skinned actors right now. And originally that's what I thought, but then I remembered, there's that guy who keeps breathing really heavy on Star Wars, because that's all I remember him doing in the trailers is breathing heavily. And I looked him up, he's John Boyega. I think he would actually be a good Franklin if, he's kind of beefed a little bit, he's got to beef up a little bit more, and he could be Franklin. I'd say he'd Franklin.
Now, my pick for Franklin is none other than your boy, Mr. Malcolm from Empire, Mr. Booby Miles from Friday Night Lights, Derek Luke. And when you're going for, he may have to put on a little bit of weight because Franklin's kind of husky, but that look, man, that stare, that when you're going for that, from the street looks, Booby Miles back in the 70s was from the streets, man. Malcolm, even though he dressed up in his little suit on Empire, got his little legit job, he from the streets. You can tell, you can look at him. You see how he put it on Kitty.
I have to admit, I've never watched Empire. I don't know what it is with me, but I don't like Fox television shows because they're all really amazing, but I don't watch any of them. But that's because I lost faith in Fox 10 years ago, by the way. They saddened me with all the other stupid shows they did. And they haven't won me back yet, and they won't. ABC.
Fox used to air like 90210 back in the 90s.
Oh my god. And no.
Shout out to Fox.
I don't
Quality
do that.
programming.
It's okay. Alright. So finally we have Trevor, who is a lunatic. So both of our picks kind of are lunatics. So they both fit personality-wise. Look-wise, we're going to see what's up. So your pick is...
And let's just go ahead and be honest about this. I actually came out first with Nicolas Cage because I thought that, Nicolas Cage from Con Air and Trevor Phillips, that's just it. That's Trevor Phillips Industries before there was a Trevor Phillips Industry. But then Dre mentioned Steve Buscemi. And even in the same movie, Steve Buscemi is a better Trevor Phillips. So I have to fully concede on that one. It's Steve Buscemi. Get him on the horn. Let's make this happen. I don't care if it's a Vine video of Steve Buscemi playing Trevor Phillips. Let's try to make this happen somehow.
We need Steve Buscemi's number. And I originally liked the pick of Nicolas Cage that he had in the beginning because, exactly what he said. It's just they're both perfect, so we just got to see what happens. I like him, so mine's Nicolas Cage too.
Nicolas Cage, Steve Buscemi battle. Vine videos, Trevor Phillips. Get the word out. Let's make this happen.
Who's going to win? It's going to be awesome. All right, so that's our show. We're done with the night. Done with the show. How do you end the show?
Contact info?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm pointing, but you can't see. At the bottom, on the right side of the blog, you'll be able to see all of our information. We got our Tumblr up there and the WordPress, where I write funny stories when I'm really baked. And we're going to start posting other stuff in there. The pictures will be on the Tumblr, so you guys can make the pics. And the Snapchat, my personal Snapchat, is it was used. There you go. It's very complicated. I'll put that up there too because I can't say it, so you probably didn't understand me. But yeah, All right, bye from me, and
Bye from Jay. Have a good night.
have a good night. Where the fuck is the mouse?